Championship live on RaceSpotTV. We're happy that all of you are joining us here on this beautiful Friday evening, wherever you're tuning in around the world. I'm your host, Joshua Lee, and alongside me in the commentary booth is Nolan Rempel with Tyler Maxson down in the virtual production trailer, controlling all of the action. And Nolan, we are getting ready for one of the most exciting tracks that I think we can have all season long. It's big, it's fast, it is very bumpy in a lot of places, and it's going to provide some exciting action. We've seen it in the real world, we've seen it in the sim. Now we're getting ready to see it in these F3 machines.
And of course, we're coming off of such an exciting race from Zandvoort just 1 week ago, where the intensity could be about as exciting as you could possibly get. The only thing that could have made it better was, of course, a photo finish. You have a much higher chance of that happening here, though, at the Sebring International Raceway, which means we could be in for a really entertaining race here tonight.
And as you can see, we're in round number 10 of this campaign, and we've been to Watkins Glen, and we've been to Snetterton, Suzuka, Hockenheimring, Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, Laguna Seca, Donington, Spa, Zandvoort in the last 2 rounds. Now we're here in virtual Sebring. We'll be at the virtual Red Bull Ring in 1 week's time, and then in 2 weeks' time, we'll be rounding out the campaign at the virtual Hungaro Ring. But for now, we stay stateside in the United States, Florida to be specific, here at virtual Sebring. Qualifying has started its way on. 5 minutes just about remaining here in qualifying, and we'll see just how important qualifying is going to be. Everybody on the track trying to get those first couple of laps in as we take a focus on Adrian Falcon in the 1. He's here every week. He knows these F3 cars. We'll see what kind of first lap he can put down in that number 1 machine. As we go on board, he is on his first flyer.
You see Adrian Falcon now just coming on up now over through, I believe this would be the Tower Bend. It is such a tricky set of corners you have to work your way through the Cunningham quarter. Now coming up to the Tower Bend, and we'll be setting to bomb it down here all the way down the Flying Fortress straight before you head out up through Bishop and up for Gendebian. You have so many very famous corner names that you have present here at Sebring, and it is such a difficult track as well. It can be difficult to overtake as well. The best possible overtaking opportunity tonight could be down into the Sunset Bend, out of the Le Mans curve, down the Ullman Straight. And of course, turn 1 is always going to be a tricky situation you have to deal with as well, especially on the starts. Of course, standing starts in the Formula 3 series here, and this could mean it could be one hectic run. It's not a hard braking zone hairpin like you saw at Zandvoort. It's a long, fast, flowing, sweeping corner where you can carry some of the higher speeds on any of the corners we see so far all throughout the racetrack, which means qualifying position could prove absolutely vital on the race starts here today.
Every time I see the Ullman Straight and Sunset Bend, I remember that one IMSA Mazda Cup finish where they were 3 wide coming to the line. I just remember that every time that I go to anything related to Sebring. And Adrian Falcon, not with the best time that I think he was looking for there, about 4/10 off of Alessandro Di Tullio, who currently sits at the top of the board. Connor Bell in second, Raul Hyman, Connor Wagner, Flavio Dantas the top 5. As Adrian Falcon is going to go 6th fastest, is Benitez, Dantas, Fiorani, Newhoff, and Dreza rounding out that top 11 positions currently on the racetrack. Keanu Larson puts in a time up into P13 for him. Samuel Hermer gets a lap in P9 with 3 minutes left. Still a lot of laps still to be put in as we go on board with another driver. This is David Holland in the 5. He's looking to put in a better lap, or his first lap, I should say, on the racetrack. First lap doesn't look like it counted due to off-track contact with one of the outside walls, whatever you may have happen. Of course, if you get a 0x or a 1x or a 2x, 4x, any sort of incident point on a qualifying lap, it is immediately disqualified. So it looks like that's what happened for David Holland on his first lap. Let's see what happens here on his second lap. Looking for a better qualifying effort is the 5 machine. We always see David Holland up towards the front. Let's see if he's up towards the front early here, or if he's gonna have to fight through the back of the field in the race today. Out of the Sunset Bend, final corner down the front straightaway. Is it going to be a good lap time? He comes across 1:53.464. And that is going to be good enough for P5 on the board. A great lap, but Alessandro Di Tullio, so dominant at the beginning of the season, puts in a 152.5. And take a look at Flavio Dantas nipping at his heels, about 1/100th of a second back, but it's not going to be enough.
You talk about 100th of a second, 14 thousandths is the exact margin between DiTullio and Dantes down the order. So just like Zandvoort, it is a very, very tight front row. The top 4 separated by less than 0.2 of a second. The top 8 separated by just about half of a second. Take a look at the number 6 car at the moment. Marcus Lazio trying to find his way with some extra speed around through Sunset Bend this time by. Also had his first lap invalidated. Taking a much tighter line through Sunset Bend and out of corner exit, skirting with the track limits on the left-hand side and across the line. 153.005. That will put him up as 8th fastest on the boards.
Great run for Luzio as he moves his way up further in the order. And we go on board with Leonard Cherry, who is working his way onto the Ullman Straight. Let's see what this lap time is going to be for the 26. Less than a minute remaining in qualifying. And we'll see if he is able to steal that pole away from Alessandro DiTullio. What a time for the 2 machine. Will it stick as Cherry works their way through the final corner, Sunset Bend? This does not look like it's going to track fastest, but it might track good up the order. Let's find out. A 154.915. Not what Cherry wanted. They're going to go P25 on the leaderboard. And that is going to be everybody who I believe can put in a qualifying time. Putting one in, a last-minute one from Colin Shin and Jared Lettinen. And what a times from both of them. 5th and 12th, respectively, on the leaderboard. And that will round out qualifying here for the Next Level Racing official F3 Championship. Getting ready for these drivers to take it to the grid here from Virtual Sebring. 15 laps are on the docket. Let's see how they're all going to stack up. It's Alessandro DiTullio who will sit on the pole position with Flavio Dantes to his outside in P2. Ralph Benitez with Raul Hyman on row 2. Colin Shin, Adrian Falcon gonna round out the first 3 rows. How about Connor Wagner in 7th? He'll start next to the other Connor in the field. Connor Bell, who starts P8. Marcus Luzio and Paulo Draitz the top 10. Francesco Fioroni and Jared Lettinen the top 12. And going back from there, P13, it's Jean Turnjack with Samuel Hermer right next to him. Ron Wald is going to round out the top 15 with David Holland, Kenzie Newhoff, and Merrick Studnicka rounding out the top 18. Felipe Dantes and Kiero Larson round out the top 20. Christian Mansell with Stephen Hancock's Alex Lado, Michael Coffrey the top 24, and Leonard Cherry with Mads Jensen rounding out the 26 drivers who are getting ready to roar their way into turn number 1. Nolan, predictions, expectations? I think we can really expect a lot from Sebring. Such a bumpy turn number 1. We've seen in World Championship competition before that can lead to contact.
It is such an absolutely critical track. It is a bumpy track, especially through the Sunset Bend through turn 1. The starts could be crazy. We've seen before that start line chaos is definitely something to keep an eye on. We saw DiTullio have so many struggles with that 1 week ago in Zandvoort. Hopefully, he'll get a better launch out of pole position this time around. He'll be the one to lead them down into turn number 1.
Just a couple of moments left for these drivers to get on the grid. Pole sitter Alessandro DiTullio hits the grid. Colin Shin, Stephen Hancock still have yet to hit the grid. There's Colin Shin. And time is going to expire. These drivers are ready to race. Let's see who is going to get the win from Virtual Sebring. The green flag is out, and we are underway, and it's already madness as they all try and feed into turn number 1, already moving around. 3 wide towards the back, maybe even 4 wide. As the challenge for the lead comes out, it's going to be Alessandro DiTullio getting around. Flavio Dantes in 2nd. Raul Hyman there as well. David Holland's caught up in an incident at turn number 1. I believe Matt Jensen's involved as well. Still 2 wide as they go through the first sector. Everybody got to settle out. Single file, there's another incident. 1 driver around in the middle of the pack, and I believe that was Felipe Dantes getting involved. The driver around was Marcus Luzio in the middle of the pack. Everybody remains single file as they race towards the hairpin.
And Adrian Falcon trying to go around the outside of Ralph Benitez down into turn number 7. He'll make that one stick through the hairpin bend. outside. Adrian Falcon to pull this one out. Still has got the road of the number 1 car going around the outside line. So close, almost bagging wheels as they duck their way through the sweeping kings. Look out for Connor Wagner. Does he try to fancy a look at the inside line? Can't make it 3 wide. Down to this corner. That's the new one. Falcon still holding ground, but the outside line this time manages to pull away around Ralph Benitez, and Benitez finally is forced to yield.
Connor Bell and Connor Wagner made contact. They touched wheels coming through that corner. And it looks like more drivers going side by side a little bit further back. Here's the replay. This is what happened to David Holland at turn number 1, and he touches wheels with one of the drivers who is inside, and hard contact into the tire barrier. And that is it for David Holland. An unfortunate run for the 5 after a good qualifying effort. They're going to end up retiring from this race as it's still madness back from here. It looks like Raul Hyman getting passed by a couple of drivers now as we focus on one of the battles towards the mid-pack. That's Connor Bell, Paulo Dreyta going side by side. Bell to the inside and Sunset Bend in the 12. Where's the 21 gonna go? He goes inside, 3 wide. What a move from Francesco Fiordi, and around goes Connor Bell.
Oh, and heads-up driving, look out as that was Christian Mansell having to dice that one around. Not even a sheet of paper between themselves and the tire barriers. It's still 2 wide, looking for 3 wide. It's all mad as in turn number 1 as Ron Wald gets blocked big time down to the inside line by Paulo Dreyta. They managed to keep a sword of those out of turn number 1. It's still a heads-up grudge back to the turn number 3. Ron Wald holds on for the time being though. Dreyta forced to fall back. Kenzie Neuhoff in the mix of this as well. Jan Turnjack is in the mix of this as well. The number 14 car looking to make some speed, potentially 3 wide into the hairpin turn. It would certainly not surprise me. Look out for Neuhoff. Paulo Dreyta going defensive, and it will be Turnjack trying to find his way 3 wide up the middle into the hairpin. 3-1 doesn't work, and it's not going to work at all. Turnjack gets contact big time with Neuhoff. They both leap into the air and somehow recover.
Somehow they both saved it. That was Turnjack and Neuhoff touching wheels. Falcon and Benitez go side by side, and Samuel Hermer decides he wants to get into this mix. A little bit further back, we're taking a look at a battle for, I believe, P14 with Christian Mansell and the rest of the gang. P14, that's Turnjack and Neuhoff that's continuing to battle. Mansell and Dantes are behind them with Studnicka and Kjell Larson there as well, as everybody remains close together, only on lap number 2 of this race, and we've already seen some intense battling as here comes the 14. That's Turnjack trying to fight with Neuhoff again. The contact not scaring either one of these drivers. They still want to challenge each other, but here comes Christian Mansell in the 18 to also go for that spot, and you can see as they all race down the Ullman Straight, so many drivers looking for a slipstream and looking shades of the Indy 500 as they all slipstream down, and the challenge comes in from Turnjack, but Neuhoff's gonna block him going into the Sunset Bend, and he's gonna keep that 12th spot away as Alessandro Di Tullio sets the fastest lap. They continue to race 2 wide once again down the front straightaway and trying to take a look to the inside in 1. That's Benitez trying to battle heads up with Raul Hyman.
And that could be a spot done. Raul Hyman up another one. That's up in the 5th place now. Ralph Benitez not able to hang on around the outside line. How about the 14 car as well? With a huge head of steam, he manages to pull one out over Kenzie Neuhoff down into turn number 3. So John Turnjack is up another. You see just up the road as well, Paulo trying to under fire, being bumped up by Ron Wald into Lara Formula 3's 3 wide again. Herm around the outside line. Look out, Ron Wald down the inside. Driving now is damage on the gearbox because Ron Wald gave him a good old shove up the backside, down through the Gurney Bend.
It looks like Ron Wald with a bit of front wing damage as well. Doesn't seem to be affecting that car too much. He's going to continue to go side by side with Samuel Hermer. They go into the corner, give the advantage to Ron Wald, and Wald's going to take it. Neuhoff and Turnjack still going side by side, still almost making contact. They've already made contact once through the hairpin, or the exit of the hairpin, I should say. They're about to make contact again as they stay 2 wide through the middle of the corner. Now grabbing that spot, the 13. Paulo Dreyta went around. He was off track for a moment. He's still off track as he lets multiple cars go around. Dreyta's down into P20. They continue to fight ahead of him. One driver going off track there for a moment. That was Samuel Hermer who had to go off.
It's all kicking off here today, and you can see Hermer now falling back. It's more time. Might have had a slowdown penalty. The number 15 side by side between Turnjock and Christian Mansell, now looking to do battle for what I believe will be about 13th or 14th place out on the racetrack. You see side by side just up the road. Herbert has to yield just in behind. He's under all sorts of fire at the moment, losing more spots. Max goes through. Stanika goes through. And I think Herbert's trying to go down to pit road, and he's crashed into pit road as well. Samuel Herbert with a major incident, and it's 3 wide deeper in the field. It's all chaos. Comfrey going on the outside of Hancock's, and Leto down to the turn number 1. Leto trapped 3 wide in the middle. He's going to swing wide and off into the dirt on the outside line.
Unbelievable scenes, and Ron Wald is off. A hard contact into the tire barrier for the 19. Wald goes straight off and into the barrier. He completely missed the braking zone and just drove straight into the barrier. That is going to be race over for the 19 of Ron Wald. Here is the replay. He missed the apex and just drove straight into the tire barrier there, Nolan. Completely giving up, it seems.
You even saw him on that angle just from how the camera started. That car accelerated as soon as he left the track. That was pure anger we were seeing there. That's not how you want to see a race end at all, unfortunately. Hopefully, he'll have better luck, though, next week. You got Christian Mansell and Marek Stunika still looking to go side by side behind these guys. You watch the battle for 10th, 11th, and 12th. Turnjock, Neuhoff, Doubtus, all in the group mix of things. And just behind them, there you see Mansell, Stunika, along with Kyoto Larson, just in the works as well. Stunika trying to run down Christian Mansell just up the road. This is now the battle for 12th place on the racetrack with the latest retirement from Ron Wald. This is going to get all sorts of crazy here. You can tell these battles are just inches away from going into overdrive.
All right. I think we can take a breath now. Drivers are starting to spread out. We don't have any side-by-side left, so we can finally update you on where we are in this race. And as I say that, a little bit of a side-by-side moment going through the Sunset Bend, but we are going on to lap number 5 here. We're on board with Francesco Fioroni, who is currently in a heads-up battle with Connor Wagner. Fioroni's going to have to go around the outside into turn number 1, not able to even get there by the time they hit the apex. Adrian Falcon with the fastest lap of this race so far, 152.687. We've completed 4 laps. We're on lap number 5. It'll be 10 to go of this 15-lap race next time by. And we have been seeing battles all day long. And if you think the battles are over, well, think again, as we still have Sens up the inside a little bit further back, as side by side is Hancock's and Coffrey. Hancock's is going to be able to get that spot away. Coffrey still has Alex Lado up his mirror and trying to get that position as well. So you get a great speed shot of these 3 racing through, and it looks like through the hairpin, a mistake for the 14 of Turnjock, puts Neuhoff up and into P10.
Had a dive on up the inside of turn 7 of Neuhoff. Neuhoff saw it coming, though. He knew he was going to overshoot, and sure enough, a lock for Turnjock sent him swinging wide. And it was a good old textbook crossback for Kenzie Neuhoff to put himself back up now into 10th place. Looked up to the number 4 machine, still looking to tango with drivers further down in the field. This could get intense here as they get set to dice it out through the 3rd and final second on the racetrack. This is Flavio Dantas for 2nd place in the battle for 3rd with Callan Chin. We got Adrian Falco just in the mix of this as well. All 3 drivers looking to battle for podium positions here. It's all going to be between Callan Chin, though, and Flavio Dantas down the Oldman Straight, up at Sunset Bend, down to the fence, and Chin doesn't know where to go. Left to the right, back over to the right side he goes. So Callan Chin can take this one the long way around the Sunset Bend. Could he go for the over-under? I think he's lost too much time through the start of the Sunset Bend, but has a great shot of overspeed all the way out of Sunset Bend, and that cross-start finish being blocked to the left-hand side wall is Flavio Dantas Chin. Once again, the long way around for turn number 1, but I think Flavio Dantas might just be able to get that spot secured.
Dantas able to hold on. Big defense as they went down the front straightaway. Chin's gonna have to now try again from P3. All this while Alessandro De Tullio continues to run away at the front of this field. He is not messing around as De Tullio looking like how dominant he was at the beginning of this season as he continues to lead the way. We stay on the battle between Dantas and Chin. Nothing into the hairpin. Dantas is gonna be able to hold on to P2. Chin stays P3. Adrian Falcon is starting to peek into the mix there as well as they continue to battle for 2nd place on the leaderboard. Dantas currently still holding on to P2. These two drivers here, Dantas and Chin, two of the most dominant drivers that we have ever seen in iRacing F3 competition. We talk about Colin Chin. He is a real-life karting racer. He knows real-life racing, and he's bringing that here to the sim. We talk about Adrian Falcon, who is, of course, the highest I rating here in the field as well. He knows so much about the sim side of things as well as Flavio Dantas. So we're seeing the best of the sim and the best of real life go head-to-head here in virtual F3 competition. What can Colin Chin do? They'll race down into the Sunset Bend once again. Slipstream down the Ullman Straight. Is it going to be enough? Is Dantas going to go the defense? He goes for the defense in to the Sunset Bend. Inside is Dantas, outside is Chin. Nothing Chin can do as Dantas is going to hold on to second place. Colin Chin is going to try and go to the outside once again. Defense to the inside for Dantas. Side by side as they cross the line. Chin's got it by an inch. Can he take a mile? They go through turn one. Dantas on the inside, and that inside advantage is going to do him all the world of good. Chin's going to try and go around the outside again, but Dantas is just too strong.
I don't think you'd be able to hold the outside line of turn 2 for very long anyway, not with turn 3 looming just up the road, so out of the Gurney Bend and down for a hairpin turn. This could get all sorts of crazier. Chin looking to see if he can take the long way around the hairpin. Sure enough, for the 180-degree right-hand bend, deeper on the brakes around the outside line, but he cannot get the momentum that he could at Sebring. This is not a banked hairpin like we saw so many times 1 week ago. He's got to tuck back in line for the Fangio chicane. Could he have one up in the Cunningham corner, though? He could have this one. If he can hold this one around the outside, he might be able to fend him off through the Collier curve. Gets 2 wheels on the grass, though. That compromises entry. And sure enough, Dantas pushes wide right across his line with the exit of Cunningham and out through Collier, through Tower. Colin Chin not able to mount another charge.
What a battle we are seeing here for second place that is continuing. We always see it here at F3, and we're seeing it again here at Sebring. Chin's not giving up. They almost made contact. Chin made contact! Into the corner they go. That was turn 16, or turn 15, I should say. And contact between Chin and Dantas. It gets so close, and it got a little bit too close, as Chin makes contact with the 4, sends him around. Dantas gonna lose another spot. Here's the replay, Nolan. That was a close one there. It just looked like Chin was trying to brake just a little bit later, and it was just too much. And there's the contact, and around he went.
It's 2 different hits. I mean, I'm sorry, but you just cannot initiate a pass through Bishop or Gendabin. You need to already be alongside. You just cannot try to force the issue. It never, ever works. And we're seeing that at full force as Dantas now has got a lot of work all the way down in 9th place. And he's going to be trying to work his way back up through the field. And here we look at the battle for 10th and 11th place. Turnjock trying to duke it out with Kinsey Neuhoff. Neuhoff holds the outside line of turn 1, but it's going to be a huge lunge up the inside for Turnjock. Switch back for Neuhoff potentially out of turn 2 for 3. More contact. Neuhoff is forced out wide. He's got damage on the front of his wing now, but they keep it steady. Off into the gravel goes Neuhoff on the right-hand side. That opens up the door for Christian Manson to get a huge charge out of the Gurney Bend and down for the hairpin. This time, Neuhoff not going to defend. Christian Mansell going to hold with it, and he'll be able to take that inside line for the hairpin.
Great move by Mansell to see what was going on in front of him, and he is going to take advantage. Up and into P11 he goes. What a move for the 18 machine. Now going to try and catch up to Turnjock, who sits in front of him in that number 14 machine. They're still stacking up here as Neuhoff is going to look to try and get around. Studnicka is also in this battle here in P13. So is Kjetil Larson. He's pretty close to this battle as well, as they all race in a train. This is about 10th all the way down to about 14th place on the grid right now, as we go over halfway done with this race. Next time by 7 laps to go. And what an unbelievable race we have seen so far. We're only halfway done. We still have plenty of time left to see where these drivers are going to finish on the leaderboard. Still taking a look at this battle for P10. Stepping out, there goes Studnicka looking for P12 on Newhoff. And going into the Sunset Bend, relatively easy pass there for the 16. Newhoff's not able to get that crossover done. And now here comes Kieto Larson also to battle with Newhoff as well, as Newhoff is actually going to get Studnicka back through the end of Sunset Bend. Not enough, though. Not able to clear him back into turn number 1. Merrick Studnicka trying to go heads up with Newhoff, and he does just that. And out of turn number 1, Studnicka is going to hold on to P12 as here comes Newhoff to challenge again around the outside.
And this time, Newhoff could potentially have it done here if he can hold on to the Gurney Bend. Not going to be able to do so, though. Studnicka takes the spot back. You got Kieto Larson still just waiting in the wings, just in behind for 12th, 13th, and 14th place. Studnicka trying to hold on. Newhoff's going to try the outside line. And Larson's going to try to follow, but it's not going to happen this time around. Could he go for the over-under out of the Fangio chicane? I don't think he'll be able to properly initiate this pass here to Cunningham, but he's going to try his dang hardest to absolutely go for Newhoff. Going to be around the outside line of Merrick Studnicka and up into the braking zone. It's so deep on the brakes for the 13, but he's just got to bail off because he cannot hang on.
They're still side by side now. They settle back out to one wide, and Newhoff is not giving up. He wants to go back around the outside. He's going to get to that point. Big question is, can he finish this pass? He's been so close, but Studnicka has not been letting Newhoff get anything on any of these moves. And they're going to go back to the Ullman straight. Still on the outside line is Newhoff. He's holding it around. A little bit of touch to the grass there as Newhoff is going to slot barely back into line. Kieto Larson's there. Michael Coffrey is there. Stephen Hancock is there as well. Ronald Hyman sets the fastest lap of the race as Newhoff goes to the outside. Kieto Larson goes to the inside, trying to make something happen through Sunset Bend. Larson's going to follow Studnicka through the middle of the corner, and Studnicka's going to be able to clear the number 13 of Newhoff out of the corner. Now here comes 3 wide. Newhoff in the middle. Larson outside. Coffrey on the inside. Down into turn number 1. What a move from Michael Coffrey. Up and into P13. And now in the middle of this pack.
Oh, no! And Newhoff clips the grass and he spins it around to the turn number 3. It was bound to happen eventually. It was so close to trying to reopen up the door. And it was the smallest little touch down on the brakes on the outside line. We saw that at Zandvoort. We see it again at Sebring.
Just so unfortunate there for Newhoff, who is just having an amazing battle there, keeping up with everybody around him, battling for that spot, and unfortunately overcooked it into that corner, and around he went. Back up to the battle for P2. Colin Chan about 4.2 seconds removed from your race lead, but he sits in second place currently. Adrian Falcon is behind him in third. Raul Hyman, Ralph Benitez rounding out the top 15. Hyman with the fastest lap, 152.6. We'll see if anybody's going to be able to get back above that. With 5 to go this time by, Alessandro Di Tullio continues to lead the way, and not too much of a battle left here at the front, but second, third, fourth, and fifth all separated by the better part of about 1.5 seconds on the track right now. So anything can happen with these front 4 drivers as Di Tullio continues to pull away, but the battle for second, third, and fourth pretty much remains.
Especially for 4th and 5th place just in the bag. Ralph Benitez has been trying to close out to Hyman, and a huge tank slapper for Hyman as he touched the ground with the exit of turn number 1. That last time through only helps to bring Benitez further in the mix. Oh, that's a lunge up the inside, up into turn number 3, and not going to go anywhere, though. Ralph Benitez, though, he is on the hunt. He has got Raul Hyman in his sights. He wants that 4th place. He wants it bad. It'll be coming to 4 laps to go this next time by. Benitez not close enough to have a lunge into the hairpin turn. You're not going to be able to get it from that far back, not with how the track switches back on you on corner exit.
For everybody familiar with F3 racing here on RaceSpotTV, You see these names up front a lot, and they always put on an amazing show, especially at a track that is used to having amazing racing at it, the Sebring International Raceway. We're open for this same thing in 1 week's time at the Red Bull Ring, and in 2 weeks' time at the Hungaro Ring, two very famous and modern Formula One circuits. But Sebring, even with the bumps, always provides the best racing that it possibly can, and it brings out the best racing in the drivers that hit this track. Continuing to fight, we're taking a look at Hyman and Benitez as they go back to the Ullman Straight. Can Benitez get a slipstream down the Sunset Bend? Did he get the exit coming out of Le Mans corner that he could have gotten? It doesn't look like he did. He's going to lose a bit of time here. Makes up a little bit of it as that slipstream comes into play. Does he go for a move in the Sunset Bend? He does not. He is going to stay in P5 currently. We'll see if Benitez is going to be able to do anything off of turn number one. Adrian Falcon looks like he wants to do something in turn number one. He takes a small peek to the outside of Adrian Falcon, but it's quickly closed off by the number one machine as Benitez and Hyman going to go battling again. And Benitez with a dive through turn one is going to get that spot away. But Benitez up in a P4. Hyman tries to go around the outside, but the move is all done for Benitez.
That was millimeters away from disaster. Raul Hyman tried to go with the over-under out of turn one up for two. Almost ran into the right rear tire. Now they'll get a look around to the left-hand side. We'll try to take that spot back around the outside line. Up for the hairpin turn. And the number 8 car will hold the inside line, though. The switchback from Hyman trying to get the run. And out of that Fangio chicane, looks like the 3 car might have the overspeed up for Cunningham. He'll have the inside line here for this chain, but it will be advantage Benitez up for Cunningham. And so far, that inside line has been all the rage so far throughout Cunningham. How about Collier, though? Hyman once again with the crossover, trying to go left, right, center, trying to find every possible switchback you could possibly think of here at Sebring. And now, down the inside of the tower bend. This time, gonna muscle Benitez out wide, and Hyman takes 4th place back.
That are the moves that we are used to seeing from Raul Hyman. Unbelievable. For those that don't know, he is a driver in the FIA Formula 3 European Championship. He's driven in GP3. He's driven in F3 Asia. He's driven in the FIA Formula 3 Championship as well, most recently in 2019. And what a run that we are seeing. He's used to F3 competition, showing why he has done it professionally in the real world. Benitez tries to come back through Sunset Bend, not able to do it. Benitez is going to settle for P5, but we've seen before his move into turn number one. Hyman's expecting it this time. He blocked the inside for a moment. Now he's going to leave it open for Benitez, maybe thinking he can come back for a crossover. Benitez goes side by side. Benitez is going to squeeze Hyman out, but it's not going to be enough. Hyman is still there, still side by side as Felipe Dantas sets the fastest lap. Benitez is going to complete the pass on Hyman as now Flavio Dantas and Connor Wagner are looking to join the fight for 4th.
It ain't over yet, though. This is still a battle that is going to be set to rage on. Is there another attempt down into the hairpin turn? Hyman thinking about it, closing up to the back end, but just no room. Bit of a lock for Benitez caused him to miss the apex, and still some Connor Wagner and Flavio Dantas still try to push in the gap. Dantas, of course, with his spin out of 2nd place early. He is trying desperately to find some kind of way to close his way back up, potentially take away a top 5 position from Raul Hyman or from Ralph Benitez.
We're going to have 2 laps to go when Alessandro Di Tullio gets his way back to the start-finish line. So these battles are going to reach their crescendo and reach an ending point here soon. And we'll see how they are going to finish out. What a dominant performance from Alessandro Di Tullio today. Absolutely nobody, even within his zip code, since the drop of the green flag. He's looking to stay up at the front of the field and be a winner here in virtual Sebring. The positions back from there are all up for grabs as Colin Shin able to stay pretty comfortably in P2. Adrian Falcon not close enough to get a move done. Benitez and Hyman still battling. Can Hyman do the same thing that Benitez was able to do the last couple of laps here in turn number one and get that move made? He's gonna follow Benitez going into turn number 1. Does he make a peek to the inside? He's not going to be brave enough to do it. Benitez is gonna hold on to P4.
And you saw Dantas fall back one as Wagner made his way with the inside of turn 1. Now, Dantas cuts it back into turn number 2. And Dantas puts himself back up into 6th place where he feels he rightfully belongs. Connor Wagner kind of stepping the back end down just a little bit that time. Out of the tower bend, was not able to get the hammer down out through Gurney. So it's still going to be a heads-up race between Wagner and Dantas throughout the remainder of this race. But I'm feeling that Flavio Dantas at the moment, he has lost the chance to potentially take a top 5 finish away from Raul Hyman.
Hyman is pulling away from that spot. We have a replay of Christian Mansell here. Let's see what happened to the 18. Oh, just lost it coming through the sunset bend, Nolan. That's the bumps that we talk about. Really, once you go through turn 14, 15, 16, and you go off of this relatively new pavement onto the old pavement of what used to be an airstrip here at the Sebring International Raceway, it becomes very bumpy, very difficult to handle these F3 cars, especially with the limited amount of suspension these things have.
We saw a great job with Stefan Hancock to get around that mess as well, and now Hancock's trying to make one up on Kieto Larson here, lost the position as a result of that tremendous avoidance he had to do to get around Christian Mansell, who takes the spot back from Kieto Larson that last time by, coming around to the Collier curve. And Hancock's now gets set to run away with a 13th place finish here, unless Kieto Larson can close back up and have a thing or two potentially say about that battle. You still got obviously your podium positions and top 5 battles still looking to duke it out as well as we start the final trip around the Sebring International Raceway.
White flag in the air, 152.335, just set by your race leader, Alessandro Di Tullio. A dominating performance from him. We saw him at the beginning of this campaign be so dominant. Same thing with Raul Hyman as he goes to the inside of Benitez through turn number 1, a touch to the grass for, I believe, Flavio Dantas behind, as here comes Connor Wagner to battle with Dantas in the 4. They stay side by side. Wagner squeezes him off by inches. The 11 of Wagner's going to take over P6. Now the big question is Dantas going to step out? He does so. Hyman trying to protect on Benitez for 4th. Dantas gonna go around the outside, or attempt to, I should say, in the hairpin. Here's the crossover. Trying to squeeze him off is Connor Wagner. Can't do it. Still side by side. Flavio Dantas versus Connor Wagner. Battle on the final lap for P6. They continue to stay side by side as they go back and into the corner. Turn number 10, Dantas able to barely get that spot back away from Wagner, but Wagner has a ton of opportunities to try and get that spot back. They go down the straightaway. Big slipstream opportunity here for the 11 of Connor Wagner. Is he going to take it to his advantage? Take a look at Dantas. All the defense coming out from the 4 machine. On board with the 11 of Wagner. One cone getting thrown off on the outside. These guys continue to battle. Onto the Omen straight they go. Out in front, it is going to be all Alessandro Di Tullio, who works his way through the sunset bend, and he, in dominating fashion, is going to walk away with a win in his home state. Alessandro Di Tullio takes the win from virtual Sebring. The battle for the spot between Flavio Dantas and Connor Wagner is side by side. Photo finish at the line, and by a half car length, Flavio Dantas will take 6th place.
And how about the pass down the Ullman Straight that caused Raul Benitez to slide his way down to 5th place, losing out on 4th to Raul Hyman. And here's another battle between Kieto Larson trying to fight off Christian Mansell around the outside line. Mansell's got the overspeedo, and he will take out a 14th place finish. Larson has to settle for 15th on the results page.
Alex Lato trying to get a spot as well. He sits P17 in a drag race down the sunset bend. Gerald Lettinen there as well. Lettinen takes a look to the inside. Lato's going to be able to protect it through the sunset bend. Is it going to be enough? Yes, it will be. Lettinen, no opportunity to step out until the last possible moment. And at the line, Lato's going to take over P17 and finish there as well. As Leonard Cherry comes across the line, that is everybody on the racetrack finishing up here at Sebring. And what a race we just saw. Alessandro Di Tullio walks away with your race win. Colin Chan, Adrian Falcon, Raul Hyman, and Ralph Benitez rounding out the top 5 with Flavio Dantas, Connor Wagner, Felipe Dantas, Francesco Fioroni, and Jan Serenjak rounding out your top 10. P11, it was Marek Studnicka. Great run for them tonight with Michael Coffrey, Christian Manso, Keanu Larson, and Stephen Hancox rounding out your top 15. Kenzie Newhoff with Alex Lato, Jair Lettinen, Marcus Luzio, and Leonard Cherry, the top 20. And rounding out your full 26 driver field, it was Ron Wald, Samuel Hermer, Paulo Dreitza, Mads Jensen, Connor Bell, and David Holland. Connor Bell and David Holland unfortunately getting caught up in incidents early, as well as everybody else who finished multiple laps down. Nolan, catch your breath. What a race that we just saw here from Virtual Sebring. It's only going to get more exciting when we go to Red Bull Ring and Hungaroring, 2 of iRacing's newest courses and 2 exciting ones as well to round out this campaign. With this lineup of drivers and at tracks like this, it's very rare that we see some boring racing.
Yet another barn burner. Once again, the Next Level Racing Formula 3 series does not fail to disappoint. Every single week we've come out to this series, it has just been non-stop action from start to finish, and we are going to be set for a heck of a season finale coming up at the Red Bull Ring and the Hungaroring in just 2 weeks time. I have to say, I have a feeling like Sebring and Zandvoort will definitely be some of the more exciting races that will be seen throughout the course of the year. Hungaroring, of course, can be a bit more difficult to pass, but we saw what they made with tricky passing zones at Zandvoort and of course here tonight at Sebring, so who knows? I'll probably end up eating my words once again.
We've gone to Watkins Glen, Snetterton, Hockenheimring, Laguna Seca, and more tracks all across the world. We're going to go back from the United States, back over the pond to the Red Bull Ring and the Hungaroring in 1 week's time and 2 weeks' time, respectively. Make sure that you are joining us here on RaceSpotTV. If you liked what you saw today, well, make sure that you are here for the Red Bull Ring and the Hungaroring. It is going to be an exciting end to the campaign. That is going to do it for our coverage of the Next Level Racing official F3 Championship here on RaceSpotTV. For Tyler Maxson down in the virtual production trailer, for Nolan Rempel alongside myself, Joshua Lee, we thank you for tuning in to tonight's coverage here from Virtual Sebring. Congratulations to Alessandro Di Tullio, another dominating win for the 2 Machine here in Virtual Sebring. We'll see you in 1 week's time from Virtual Red Bull Ring as the Next Level Racing official F3 Championship continues.